for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge to the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The Waterworks Board consists of 3 members of the council. Mr. Troxler, would you please call roll call?
Full roll call then? And
Yes.
roll call. Councilman Kevin Conley.
Present.
Councilman Tom Schmidt. Here. Councilwoman Robin Arnaitis.
Here.
Councilman Kayla Johnson.
Here.
Councilman Rob Getzlaff.
Present.
Attorney Josh Teal.
Present.
Fire Chief Robert Patterson. First Director Jeff Hewitt. Director of Operations Jim Gorman.
Here.
IT Director Dan Chen. Present. And Mike Troxel, Clerk Treasurer here. All kind of work.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to announce that due to the COVID-19 situation, we are running live on YouTube for this evening's meetings. Additionally, we have made provisions for the public to call or email any messages. The first item on the agenda is the minutes of the March 11th, 2020 meeting.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Next on the agenda is claims.
So,
Mr. Troxler, are there any additional claims?
no additional claims for Waterworks.
There's a motion, I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Next on the agenda is reports. Are there any additional reports, Mr. Volkman?
No additional reports on water.
Are there any additional reports from the council members?
No.
Next on the agenda is old business. There is no old business, and there is no new business. At this time, is there any business from the floor? No business from the floor? Then this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Call over the redevelopment commission meeting for Wednesday, April 8th, 2020. The time is 7:17 p.m. We'll bring Councilman Rob Getzlaff and Councilman Kayla Johnson back into the fold for the redevelopment meeting. Minutes of the March 11th, 2020 public meeting.
So, second.
Motion is second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Claims, any additional claims?
No additional claims, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Troxel.
So moved.
The motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. Any reports from staff?
No reports.
Thank you. Development council members, any reports? Redevelopment? No report there. We have no old business. We have an item under new business. Item A, resolution 2020-1. A resolution of the town of Schererville, Lake County, Indiana, redevelopment commission pledging certain tax increment revenues to the payment of economic development refunding revenue bonds of the town of Schererville, Lake County, Indiana, in all matters related thereto. Mr. Troxel or Mr. Ostrian?
Before you tonight on this item is the recommendation to be made concerning refunding the 2012 Shops on Main TIF bond financing. It's approximately $14 million to be refunded. The interest rates have been reported to be very advantageous, such as significant savings could be realized. That recommendation was made and authorized the consultant of the town to prepare and present that to you. That's what you have here before the town council tonight. Will be an ordinance based upon this recommendation, such that the refunding financing could proceed. Now, that being said, given the circumstances we're in, just because there is an adoption or consideration of approval adoption in sequence by each of the redevelopment commission and the town council, that doesn't mean refunding financing will happen tomorrow. This gets the town ready and in a position so that when our underwriters come in with recommendations that they have placed and can place this refunding financing in. So this is the ready go button, if you will. And we recommend your consideration of that. I hope I didn't miss anything. Mike, Bob, you covered it.
Okay, let's do that.
So it's just an initial approval, Mr. Osborne, that we're acting on tonight?
This is the authorization to refund the existing bond issue.
Authorization. Okay, thank you.
So you will recommend to the town council, and the town council is the body that has bond ordinances. So
Thank you.
that's what it'll be.
Pleasure of the board.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I move to approve resolution 2020-1 as read by Mr. Osborne.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Item B, resolution 2020-2, a resolution of the town of Schererville, Lake County, Indiana, in all matters related thereto. Mr. Osborne? Mr. Troxel?
I'll take that.
Troxel, thank you.
Okay, this is a transfer of funds, as you read, from our Kinney Evans District to certain funds in our town. The general fund, park and rec fund, police pension fund, 2004 park district fund, debt service fund, the building court lease, 2016 tax force real bond, debt service fund, and the 2018 park district funds. This is pretty much an annual item here in anticipation of when we're going to receive our tax bill this year. So with that anticipation, there are obligations that need to be met at the town level, and transferring these funds temporarily into these funds here will make sure that we continue to pay the debts that are due at the town. The other category is these funds, temporary loan, will need to be repaid back by December 31st. So it's a temporary loan, so then, and all these funds will be paid back as we have done in the past.
Any questions from Mr. Troxel? Hearing none, pleasure of the board.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion to approve resolution 2020-2, resolution of the town of Schererville, Lake County, Indiana Redevelopment Commission providing for a temporary loan of funds from the Kennedy Avenue TIF district to certain town funds, declaring an emergency exists and all matters related to this.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Troxel. Mr. Jan, are there any questions for redevelopment? Okay. Thank you. Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.
I'd like to call the utility board meeting to order for Wednesday, April 8th. We'll accept the same roll call from the redevelopment. So we'll go on to the minutes of the March 11, 2020 public meeting. Pleasure of the board.
Second.
That's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Claims, any additional claims, Mr. Troxel?
No additional claims, Mr. President.
Pleasure of the board.
So move on claims, Mr. President.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Reports, any reports from staff members?
No reports.
Council members?
No, sir.
There is no old business. Under new business, consider acceptance and approval of contract for construction or sewage works and reimbursement agreement between the town of Schererville, Lake County, Indiana, and the town of Schererville Utility Board and Crossroads Storage LLC. Mr. Volkman?
Yes, Mr. President. This is for a development that's just south of AAA Supply on 41. It's the developer extended sewer and has asked the town to consider his recapture agreement to recover some of the costs of the sewer line that will service other properties. This is totally appropriate. It doesn't cost the town anything. We just act as a conduit to recover part of his cost if anybody taps it in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Volkman.
Pleasure of the board.
Move to approve.
Second motion and second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries 5-0. There's no business from the floor. This meeting is adjourned and now going to the town council meeting.
Good evening, I'd like to call a town council meeting for Wednesday, April 8th at approximately 7:26 p.m. The roll call will be the same as the utility board. The first item is the minutes of the March 11th, 2020 and the March 26th, 2020 public meeting.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and we have a second on minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Next item, claims. Any additional claims, Mr. Johnson?
No additional claims, Mr. President.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and we have a second on claims. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Reports. Staff, Mr. Walton, any reports?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, did you want to discuss the trash and recycling rate increase based on our new contract with Public Services?
I know we need to advertise, first of all, correct?
We do. So we need a sense of direction. The town of Schererville rate went up 39% with the Public Services due to increased costs in recycling. There's recycling factors that were put into it because the recycling markets have collapsed. I'm proposing that we advertise to increase our rate to correspond as a pass-through rate. And we look for permission to advertise that as a public hearing for next month.
Mr. Johnson, do you have anything to add to that?
As Tom Andrews stated, we do have a new contract that was signed with Public Services recently that we all agreed to, and that rate is 39% increase. So it's a 4-year contract. So one of the recommendations would be consider passing that through to other residents. You can do it annually each year, and you do it, or I did put a schematic through that shows that $21.50 per month for 4 years would cover our costs for recycling and garbage for the 4 years at a flat rate instead of being adjusted each year.
I think that's appropriate. I mean, it's a pass through. We're not making money on the rate increase. We're just passing this along that we're being charged this additional fee from the public. So
Correct.
let's just pass it.
So Mr. Walton, you're looking for authorization
So we
to
advertise
advertise.
for next month. We have to deal with this, and the longer we wait, the more cost increases.
I move to authorize Mr. Walton to advertise for a public hearing at the May council meeting.
At the rate of $21.50.
The rate of $21.50. Second.
Mr. President.
The recommendation to advertise high doesn't mean you have to adopt that rate. When advertising high gives you the flexibility, if as policy-making legislator you decide to reduce it, to reduce it. So knowing that you're going to advertise at $21.50 doesn't necessarily mean your end decision in an ordinance following a public hearing will result in that. So this just gives us the opportunity to push you in position to make decisions.
Thank you, Mr. Costa, too, for clarifying that with us.
Sure.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Any other reports, Mr. Walton?
No other reports. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Council members?
And ask all the staff. I have no report.
Council members, any reports? Mr. Johnson, any report?
No reports, Mr. President.
We have our fire chief, Mr. Patterson is remotely. Mr. Patterson, you have any reports?
Yes, good evening. As of today, we have had 3 confirmed positive COVID-19 patients that our department has had contact with on calls in our town. Please note that all of our personnel were wearing proper PPE. I'm very proud to advise that one of our shifts has put together a spray sanitizer using an air pack and a paint spray. This system is a quicker and easier way of disinfecting the ambulances on a daily basis and as needed. Today, we even sanitized one of our police officers' cars for them. I have some good news that our new fire engine has arrived at Fire Service in St. John, and it's having some minor items taken care of, and some pieces of equipment are being installed in it. We will hopefully be taking possession of this engine in a few weeks or so. Otherwise, I would like to thank the town for all your support during this very trying time. And as always, and most importantly, I would like to thank all the men and women of the Schererville Fire Department for continually staying strong and being professional during this difficult trying time. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief Patterson, and we thank you and all your staff for all the work you've done. You kept us informed on all the information.
Thank you.
Deputy Chief from the Police Department, Jeff Cook's here, or actually remotely. Jeff?
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to echo what Chief Patterson said. On behalf of the police department, we'd like to thank you for helping us every day get the supplies we need for our officers out there who are doing a lot of these same calls with the fire department. So I'd like to show our appreciation to you guys as well as the fire department for assisting us in getting the equipment we need. Secondly, I'd like to report that last week we swore in a new officer. His name is Jeff Wozniak. He brought us to 45 officers. We have another officer who's completing his pension paperwork, so he should be in the next month or two. And then on Monday, we will be starting the 47th officer. So that's due to the recent retirements that we just had. He's 3 on board. So that's all.
Thank you, Deputy Chief Jeff Cook, and also once again, thank you to your partner for all your hard work and with the situation that's going on. Our Public Works Director, Jeff Hewitt's remotely. Jeff, do you have any comment? Okay, at this time, we'll move on. There's no old business. There's new business. Item A is ordinance 1951, an ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale of the town of Schererville, County, Indiana, taxable economic development refunding revenue bonds, series 2020, the Shots on Main project for the purpose of refinancing an economic development project and approving and authorizing other actions in respect thereto. Mr. Austin or Mr. Troxel?
Mr. President, council members, this is the ordinance that follows the recommendation made by the Redevelopment Commission this evening to favorably recommend pursuit of refunding financing.
Thank you.
Mr. President, move to approve ordinance number 1951.
I'll second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Motion to adopt. Second.
We have a motion to adopt. We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item B is ordinance 1952, an ordinance authorizing insurance and sale of the town of Schererville, County, Indiana, of sewage works refunding revenue bonds for the purpose of refunding the town's sewer works revenue bonds, series 2010, and all matters related thereto. Mr. Austin?
This is the same style, refunding financing the sewage works bond issue that is referenced for significant and substantial savings. It has the same time period anticipated as for the redevelopment bonds. They'll both be sitting in the queue awaiting the proper timing of interest rate and savings with your adoption of same.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I have a question before we go to the motion. Why wasn't this on an agenda earlier to be approved?
Could have been, we just engaged the financial consultants.
No, I apologize, I meant today.
Resolution, because it's not a redevelopment fund.
Okay,
It's
so,
still yours.
so because it's sewage, it wouldn't have to go through redevelopment, obviously.
Not at all, not at all. It's utility issue, revenue line.
Mr. President, I would make a motion to approve ordinance 1952 as outlined by council.
I'll second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Motion to adopt. Second.
We have a motion to adopt, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item C is a resolution 2020-2, a resolution declaring an emergency and approving waiver of late charge fees to residents and utility rate payers in the town of Schererville on monthly utility bills and invoices required by applicable ordinances establishing such rates and charges and all matters related thereto. Mr. Troxel?
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. Yes, obviously in lieu of what's happening with the COVID-19 virus affecting every sector of our community, I think it was prudent that we consider, knowing that some of our utility residents will be going through some economic difficulties. So this is a resolution for you guys to consider that for the billing cycle for April, which is April 10th to 24th, and next month, the billing cycle from May 10th to 24th, that you consider that if anybody is late, that the town will waive those fees for those 2 months period. We can also revisit this in May, that we can see that it may continue. We may want to continue this resolution into June. But I think looking at a 2-month period, 60 days, for considering waiving those fees for those that have any economic difficulties paying the bills is a consideration that we can do.
Thank you, Mr. Troxel. Very good point.
I have a quick question again. Mr. Troxel, is this an automatic waiver or is this a program where they apply for the waiver?
The way our program works, Councilman, is that at the 24th date, once we observe and see who has paid and not paid, we will then, it's either they all get charged a late fee or they don't. So it would be just a waiver of not pushing the button to charge it.
Chairman.
Mr. Kessel?
Motion to approve resolution 2020-2. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item D is resolution 2020-3, a resolution authorizing lease purchase financing for the purchase of fire department vehicles and equipment for the town and all matters related thereto. Mr. Volkman, or you need Mr. Patterson?
No, this is actually, Mr. Croxall, this is the financing request for the fire truck we have taken, that is at Fire Services in St. John right now, that we'll be taking delivery on in a couple of weeks. Since we're not going to be doing a 2020 health lease, we're looking at alternate funding mechanisms to pay for that fire engine.
Mr. Troxel, do you have any comment?
Yes, as town manager stated, in keeping that receipt here, we do need to come up with a payment to pay them. So one of the options we have is to contact our local financial institutions here to let them know that we're looking at financing these equipment. Looking for terms of 5 to 7 years on this. So with the interest rates as they are, I think going locally and financing this equipment for that term could help cash flow in town, and then also help the local guys here to help protect the community and a good financing rate. So hopefully.
Thank you, Mr. Troxel.
Mr. President, move to approve resolution 2020-3.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item E is consider approval of the Schererville Police Chief staffing plan. Bob, you want to take?
Sure.
Or, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think Chief is here. Last month, we approved the Chief Stormess's staffing plan. In the last week, he's had another officer leave, so what he's asking is, a request is to add one more emergency hire to his staffing plan.
Motion to approve.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item F is consider granting authorization to deed 2100 Sheila Road, which is of no value to the town of Schererville, to the adjoining property owners, Clarence and Kathleen Kistler, at 2144 Austin Avenue. Mr. Welcome, you have an explanation?
Sure, Mr. Chairman. This was a piece of property that we were approached last year by the county commissioners to deed it to the town of Schererville. As it actually is the driveway for this couple's residence. That happened. The county commissioners deeded it to the town, and we are in turn wanting to deed it to the Kistlers because it is of no value to the town. It's not a public right of way. It's basically the driveway to their home. And this will return it back to the tax rolls, and it also will clean up the property rights in that area.
Mr. President, I have a question before we go to the vote. Mr. Town Manager, is there a guarantee that this isn't going to go right back to tax sale and be lost by the Kistlers and back to the county?
Well, and you know,
Can we get them to join this to their other properties, you know, make it into one lot?
what they could do is, if they subdivided, which would be kind of an expensive proposition for them, they have to hire an engineer, but if they just mingle that with their existing keys, just blended them together, they can get all of the properties under one key at the county.
I just don't want it to end up back in the tax sale process and end up back at the county and we're off to the
Exactly. I don't know how this occurred. I think this has got a lot of history to it. Not really sure what that history is, and frankly, probably not worth looking into. But they have actually, the Kistlers own several properties there, and I think they've already got them blended under one key number so that they're not paying multiple property tax bills. And it also saves them from paying the Little Cal River Basin
fee multiple times.
paying that $45 per parcel. Saves them money too.
Well, it'd be nice if we could get them to do that so it's all being taxed.
It's going to have a chance to do that when he meets with them.
Sure.
To convey the deed.
Mr. President, I would make a motion to grant authorization to deed 2100 Sheila Road, which is of no value to the town of Schererville, to the adjoining property owner, Clarence and Kathleen Kistler, 2144 Austin Avenue.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item G is consider request to allow continuing non-conforming use for fence replacement at 97 and 99 Juniper Drive. Petitioners are Michelle Hanson at 97 Juniper Drive and Lawrence Paraday at 99 Juniper Drive. Mr. Volkman?
Mr. Chairman, this is kind of a strange situation. This fence at these two properties has existed for many years. It's a non-conforming fence. It's legal non-conforming. Under the requirements of our 1797, they would have to, for replacing this fence, they would be in front of the BZA. We probably won't have a BZA meeting until June or July, just because of the way the calendar falls. It's been canceled for this month, May. It's on Memorial Day, so probably the next opportunity is June. This fence, as you can see from the pictures I provided, is falling down. So I confirmed with Attorney Auction to see if there was a way to expedite this for these property owners as they're trying to improve this property. And he suggested bringing it to the council, asking for your permission to allow the non-conforming use to remain rather than having to send them to the BZA, which would actually probably cost them as much as the fence that they're trying to replace.
Thank you. Mr. President, motion to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion, we have a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Item H is consider removal of lien of the town of Schererville EMS debt in the amount of $1,524. Mr. Volkman.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have an ambulance debt. It's for a minor child. There's no way that we're going to collect that. And everybody else has written off a tremendous amount of debt, bad debts on this account. And this $1,524, we're not going to collect it, and rather than keep having this hang around, I would ask that you consider dismissing it. Dave, do you have cover?
Yeah, I need to be more specific. This is the daughter of one of our police officers who was horrifically burned in an accident that happened in a residential home. Special says us lawyers call them paid overnight. Exceeded 7 figures. Everybody involved worked for nothing to recover what could be for her care. Truthfully, suffered a lot. I was contacted by the plaintiff's attorneys and asked about that. Didn't feel comfortable most of the time we handle that stuff, but these kinds of accounts just deal with the situation. Didn't want any issues or problems or concerns. We do recommend that you waive it. I talked with Bob about it, but this is the best forum for an ultimate action. But that's the backstory, and that's why we're here with this one. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Wilson.
Mr. Chairman, motion to remove the debt of $1,524.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Item I is consider acceptance and approval of contract for construction of sewage works of reimbursement agreement between the town of Schererville, Lake County, Indiana, and the town of Schererville's utility board and Crossroads Storage LLC. This came from the utility board agenda. Mr. Bolton.
Yeah, this was already on the agenda. This is that sewer recapture agreement with the property, which was the old Elzinga cement.
Move to approve, Mr. President.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item J is award bid for pouring concrete and concrete disposal services. Mr. Volkman.
Yes, the Robin brought this to my attention last month when we made a motion. We approved the road materials, but we didn't make a motion to approve the award of the bid for the poured-in-place concrete and the concrete disposal services. The poured-in-place concrete would go to Kobe and Company in Schererville, and the concrete disposal services would go to Walter's Excavating.
Thank you, Mr. Volkman.
Chairman, motion to approve the bid for poured-in-place concrete and concrete disposal services as outlined by Tom Henry.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item K is to reject all bids for landscaping. Mr. Volkman.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The bids for landscaping this year came in unexpectedly high, and we rebid it. We got the bid last month and rebid it. They came in high again, so my recommendation is to reject all bids, and the town will take on the mowing themselves.
Mr. Chairman, Motion to reject all bids for landscaping.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item L is consider acceptance of donations for $1,459.73. Mr. Troxel, would you mind reading those donations for us?
And Mr. President, I would be happy to. These are donations accepted through the month of March 31st, 2020. The Animal Control Fund received $30.62 in in-kind donations. Those are described as Crossroads Animal Open House. They're donated digital, laundry detergent, and bleach. Another business in town, Dollar Tree, donated items of white bread, aluminum pans, dish soap, pine salt, vinegar, bleach, and antibacterial spray. The cash donations we received from Animal Control Crossroads fundraiser on March 1st was $373.15. The Crossroads Animal Hospital donations from March 5th, 2020 were $194. Total monetary received was $567.15. Total animal control donations with the in-kind donations total $597.78. The technical issue maybe. Hello? Can you hear me now? The donation fund to the police department dare program from St. Michael's Church for their t-shirts totaled $140.95. The donation fund to the parks for the T-Bulls Natural Preserve, we had 5 donors that donated monetary to this fund. We have Charlene McCormick, $50, Helen Kyson, $50, Robert and Norma Tippy, $500, Ennis and Laverne Miller, $100, and an anonymous donation of $20. Total Parks People Natural Preserve donations total $700 cash. We have a total of the in-kind donations I mentioned earlier of $3.63. Our monetary donations were $1,429.10 for a grand total of $1,459.73. Thank you.
Motion to approve. Thank you, Mr. Troxel. Motion on the
Second.
motion on the floor, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Mr. Jim, do we have any questions or from the public?
No, sir, there have been no comments from either Facebook or YouTube.
Thank you, Mr. Jim. And that helped, and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.